What's up, gang? You're hanging out right now live in the Secret Stash. I'm your host, Jesse Abanias, co-founder of the Greenhouse Group, helping folks move into and out of homes and get some loans in the meantime and moving people with purpose. We're doing that live right down here in the heart of San Diego. You can check us out at thegreenhousegroupinc.com. If you're looking to buy or you're thinking about cashing in right now while you're moving out or getting some financing in between, that's what we're down here to help you with. Or you can call us anytime, old school way, at 858-863-0261. Again, that's 858-863-0261. Streaming live on the Meerkat app right now in case you want to hit myself or Jeremy a question about the market right now live. We are doing the current, State of the Union address, right? State of the real estate market, you might say, address for August 2015. Riffed on a bunch of stats, chewed them up, spat them out. You can catch all that live on the rebroadcast on the YouTubes over at secretstashradio.com or the Greenhouse Group on our blog. Sellers last, 5 reasons to sell. What about the buyer side, though, Jared? Let's end this conversation now, which is really more of a synthesis of what we've been talking about all along, right?
Yeah, hand in hand.
So I would say this, gang. Number one, like chief on the list, if there was only one thing, I don't even need the other 4, check this stat out. So this is a little chart. We'll put this on the website, by the way, in case you want to download this. This is called Cost Across Time, the average interest rate and mortgage payment. In the 1970s, Jer, any guess on what the average interest rate was?
No.
8.86.
So around the lifetime average. Right,
exactly. Yeah. Good point, actually. Yeah. And that equated to an average payment of $1,589, $1,589 a month. That's in the 70s. Mm-hmm. Okay? In the 80s, it didn't get any better. As a matter of fact, it got tragically worse. Average interest rate in the 80s, any guess?
Above 10.
Yeah. 12.7%.
Yeah.
I remember my dad telling me first mortgage he got under Carter was 13.5%.
I bought my first home when I was 12 and rates were pretty high.
Yeah. Average payment at 12.7% gets you up to a lofty $2,166. How about the 90s? 90s fared a little bit better. Average rate of 8 and 8.12.
That was the downslope.
%, right? So, Clinton, doing his thing, a little bit better. And then that equates to a payment of about $1,484. And then in the 2000s, it started to get real sexy. Mm-hmm. So average rate for the double aughts was 6.29%, but that payment then reflective of about $1,237, which ironically is the lowest of all 4 decades, despite it being, of course, what the prices were the highest. What about today? Average rate of 4.04%. By far and wide, the lowest out of all 4 decades, 5 decades, really. What's the average payment, would you guess?
It's got to get down under $1,000.
$959.
Yeah.
$959. Dude.
This is national stats.
Yeah. Granted, it's national stats, yeah. But still, though, the rates are national rates, so you just kind of cook that back in. It's the same point. It's the same truism.
Exactly.
Just happens to be on a little bit different scale here in San Diego County. So check me if any of this sounds familiar. So if you're thinking about, why right now to buy, interest rates being around 4%. Come on, do we have to beat this thing into the ground?
Seriously.
Lowest they've been in the last 40 years. Number 2, rates are projected to go up by a full percentage point. You heard Jeremy say this about 5 minutes ago, right? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have literally gone on the record to say that they expect us to be up in the 5s, entry level, and over the course of the next about year-ish, right? Mm-hmm. And then lastly, the impact your interest rate makes on your monthly mortgage is significant because it's directly proportional to your purchase power.
Yep.
Leave anything out?
No, that's amazing. One thing that we didn't hit on that's probably more relevant to me, less in the real estate market, but people who own, this appreciation boom has been really valuable for them. So I had a couple come to me last month, and they were buried in credit card debt.
Okay.
And they were able to use that new appreciation to reclaim some of that equity and pay off a huge chunk of debt. I'm talking about $40,000 in credit card debt.
What, like a cash-out refinance?
Cash-out refinance, and roll that stuff into a 4% interest rate, simple interest as opposed to credit card debt. I think they saved $400 or $500 a month on their total monthly obligation. And it was amazing because we also put a plan together to help them. A lot of people will say, oh, you're just putting that in my home and I'm paying for too long. Well, what we were able to do is help them determine a payment that didn't hurt them long term. So they're able to make the same amount of payment that they could already afford, but dramatically crush that debt. Super cool. So another side on the refinance side where you can really take advantage of this equity and these rates if you don't plan on moving.
That's a really good addition. I'm glad you said that because that's something we didn't really riff on too much, but that's still a big section of the market right now is refinance.
It's about half my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of your business, my man, what could somebody go to do to get in touch with you to see if you can help them?
You can go to the website, greenhousegroupinc.com, or, of course, you can call me directly at 858-863-0262.
Thank you, my man, for coming into the Stash. Leaving Stash Nation a little better than how you found us today with your mortgage planning extraordinaire. Jamie Beck, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, buddy.
Co-founder of the Greenhouse Group. And Stash Nation, thank you guys for hanging out. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, 10 a.m. to noon. All things Secret Stash, all things Real Talk Radio San Diego. We're going to be hanging out with Daniel Rakiko. I'm probably butchering his last name, poor dude. It's probably something cool like Rakiko or something like that. But we're going to get back into the weeds of financial advisor stuff when we come back. So thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you back next week.